Hey guys, it's MJ. How are you? I wanted to quickly go live and offer just a mid-month energy report. A good friend of mine and I went to the beach in Brighton yesterday and we did a really amazing ceremony. It felt the most like grounded and inspired to share with you guys this huge energetic shift in our own frequency, so in our own embodiment process. And then through that embodiment process, it's like a whole bunch of veils being lifted, being able to see into the collective frequency and the collective energetic holding patterns that still need to shift. And yet, this intuitive kind of psychic ability and awareness is expanding so quickly. And it's like coming into our power in such a dynamic and powerful way that it's quite quick, that we can call out the shades, that we can transform, that we can manifest, that we can really be in our power fully in love, and then reflect back that self-compassion, that self-forgiveness, and that healing for people who are in pain, or people who are maybe just starting to get into their toxic patterns, people who may be having brand new awakenings. So something in my awareness is the fact that there seems to be this whole new crew of people who are just discovering Eckhart Tolle. So randomly, like a bunch of my clients and a random people who, because I don't think I've talked about this, but like I'm throughout my life, it's often like being, I don't know, like people just come up to me, like randomly people come up to me and start talking to me about stuff. And this young man started talking to me about his Hindu faith and how people misconstrue it, and that he's started reading The Power of Now. And it's like, and then a client of mine was like, I've just started reading this amazing book, Power of Now. So I'm realizing that there's like this collective sway now where it's like being ready to ground and hold space for the outworking of a bigger part of the collective. So I have a lot of love and compassion for actually people who have been in my life, who I'm now fully aware are it's like next phase. It's like a next level of an awakening process where we might awaken and get kind of a bit egotistical and then suddenly end up in toxic patterns because there's still an aspect of denial, because there's a deeper thread of intellectualizing the work versus embodying the work through sensitization. So energy practices, meditation, yoga, tai chi, martial arts, these kinds of practices which help uh, sensitize us to our physicality, because in truth, to be in the present moment, we need to be grounded in the fullness of our beingness, not just trapped in our head. And that's a quote that came up recently, an Eckhart quote about like, our biggest addiction is just thoughts. Our biggest addiction is thinking, and thinking that we're right is even more of a detriment, right? It's like, no, my thoughts are right. And then we forget that those thoughts then create the reality that we see. And for me, it's like I've really had to clear out all this betrayal energy, even very recently, having a reaction and then being like, oh, like, because those reactions aren't coming from a pure heart. And yet sometimes I think we really have to act it out. We have to get angry. We have to act it out. We have to see our own ugliness. We have to see our own perpetuation of a story of betrayal, of toxicity, of pain. And ultimately, there's a huge collective healing and clearing that's coming up around our sexuality. And this is big, guys, and this is so deep, and this is so heavy duty, and like we don't realize how deeply connected our mental flow, our emotional flow is connected to our sexual energy. And it's our sexual energy and sexuality that has been denied across the board. We're meant to have sex in the shadows. We're meant to have sex behind closed doors. We don't talk about it. Sex just makes babies. That is all there is to it. There's nothing else. Don't talk about it. Don't pretend like it doesn't happen. Let's just rage on wars and keep powering through, and then pretend like our sexuality has nothing to do with what's going on. And yet, if you think about it, sexuality is the primal force of creation. Our sexual energy is creative creation energy. None of us would be here without it. And so the fact that it's been demonized and ostracized and denied as part of our collective story, we talk about when the wars happened, we talk about when happened, and yet we don't really even talk about this thing that is intrinsic to our existence. So this is a big one for me because I'm doing it purely intuitively. People keep telling me to read this book or do that, and I'm just not. I can feel it. I can feel that I'm not being guided to that yet. The last book that I read, which again was guided to me, was the Magdalene Manuscript. And I'm having really good conversations with intellectuals and academicians, with women's studies authors. Friends are reading Naomi Wolf, and we're awakening to the connection of the disempowered patriarchy, right? Of an imbalanced systematic structure that denies our unity. It denies our common humanity. So it's reawakening that, and sex is going to be part of the conversation because we can't talk about our lives and pretend like sex isn't part of it. And then the fact is, we have to heal our bodies. And unless we're healed in our bodies, none of this stuff can really impact or anchor, or we can't embody it unless it's in our bodies. And typically there seems to be a bit of a process of reading books and getting it in our head, and then doing a whole bunch of life lessons and life experience, which helps to integrate the lessons and bring them into our bodies. And having some of us kind of been through it in our own intuitive way, I think is a big part of it, because even societally or systematically, we can accept men as leaders easier than women collectively, which is the same in the world of spirituality. We can accept Eckhart as a teacher. We can accept Deepak as a teacher. But it's sort of less acceptable for Oprah to be a teacher, or for Gabby Bernstein to be a spiritual teacher. They're just like light, fluffy girls talking about fun stuff. But that's changing. That is definitely changing. I'm just fully aware of the different pockets of the collective, and how we're facing certain aspects of disparity from older generations and how things were done, having to let go and shine light on the density of that demographic, and then essentially letting it go, because there will be a mass exodus, right? At some point continually, there'll be density energy just leaving the earth. Souls leave, souls die, and they take their energetic baggage with them, in essence, to clear out and then reincarnate if they so choose. Anyway, I digress, and I'm going over stuff, but just know that things are changing in a big way, and that it might not appear like that. Again, our little human minds are often like, nothing's changing. And yet, most of us could probably look at the last 2 years and be like, holy fucking shit, my whole life has changed. Other than my mother and my sister and family, proper blood family, other than those people, pretty much everyone else is gone. Got one friend who's been with my friend since I moved to Devon. He started coming to my yoga classes, and we still hang out once a week. No one else. My business partner entered my life last year, and the last year has been me and her solidifying the connection, grounding it down, making it a strong foundation, almost like family would, that kind of marriage. And then the inner circle has just been streamlined. It's mother, business partner, couple, 2 or 3 good friends. That's all you need. That's all I need anyway. I find it too intense going into mass energy anymore. Anywho, literally, it's like I'm just having a little chit chat to my own self about life in general. And I love you guys, and I'm appreciating you as always. And I just want to like share with you my boudoir because this is my view, and I just absolutely love Brighton. I love the energy here. I love my apartment. I'm growing up, and it's exciting. I love you guys. Have a great day. Peace out.